I figure we can just keep on cheering until we know that we're live and the thing has gone. Okay, cheers.
Cheers. All right, Todd, you're the one who came up with the tagline for this one.
Oh, it turns out hope is contagious. Deep fried neurons.
Oh, man.
By which I'm referring to the political statements of Barack Obama in 2007 or so.
Anyway.
No.
Hope poster. A whole new kind of hope poster. Anyway.
Oh, man. I want a hope poster. Need a hope poster. Here, wait. This might help.
Oh, so should we, should we lead with our new segment? Our new old segment? Or should we're going to lead with hope? Or are we going to wrap up with hope?
Say what?
Our So Glad You Exist awards. Should we do that now?
Yeah, I was forgetting what they were called.
Yeah. So glad. Thank you for existing awards. Now or later?
Now.
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 All right. Now. Who wants to go first?
All right. I'll go first. This one's pretty quick because I'm wearing one of the thing that I'm happy exists, which is this synthesizer magazine called Waveform Magazine. Waveform Magazine.
You're flipped.
Now, is it backwards? That's the question. Are you actually flipped?
He's backwards.
Well,
the shirt's backwards.
No, the whole
I'm backwards in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Here, let me see if I can make it unbackwards here. I've got multiple ways to accomplish this goal. Does that unflip me? Yeah.
That's normal.
So yeah. So Waveform Magazine. They are a tiny magazine. I think they are just a few, but they're actually committed to producing it, I think, quarterly. And they harken back to the old magazines, the old electronics magazines I remember as a child that actually had circuits you could build. Like, here's this article about a circuit, you could build it, and it's not all slick the way Make was with their circuits you can build. And it's Eurorack synthesizer stuff mostly. And the thing that I worked on this week, which wasn't really part of my September project, came out of a build guide from their magazine. So, thank you, Waveform Magazine.
You know what? It occurs to me that we forgot.
What's that?
Maybe we should tie it into right now our things that we are glad that exist. What are you drinking, Todd?
Oh, right. That's right. Carlin.
Well, isn't this why we have an agenda?
This is why we have an agenda. I know. Look at the agenda.
Yeah, but nobody's actually in charge of this whole thing.
I think like the cats are in charge.
Yeah, sometimes, but they're not around.
All right, what are you drinking, Barb?
Oh, okay. I'm drinking Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Woohoo!
Which I enjoy.
It is October.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
What makes the Sam Adams Oktoberfest recipe the Oktoberfest recipe?
We developed a unique malt blend to provide a deep, robust color and smooth, rich flavor. That's literally all they say on there.
Okay.
I don't know. It's some kind of lager.
Not like nutmeg or anything like that in it.
Probably.
Lager,
There's probably something. I'm not like a refined palate person. I just know if it's good.
Palatable.
And I do know I'm not a real huge fan of IPAs. Just
me neither.
Yeah.
I'm not a big IPA
another
person.
thing that hops is the beer guy equivalent of pumpkin spice.
This, I can tell you, does not taste like pumpkin spice.
Okay.
That would be it tastes like beer.
You say beer.
I mean, but that's like part of the beauty of Beer Fest, of Oktoberfest. I worked on Beer Fest, the movie. I get confused. Of Oktoberfest is it's just lots of really good beer.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I need to pick up some good German beers for this month's Deep Fried Neurons.
Oh, that sounds great. My dad
Yeah,
is a huge fan of Munich style beers. Anyway, Todd, how about you? What are you drinking?
So, well, like always, red wine. This one I got at Trader Joe's because it says Malbec and Malbec.
Malbec and Malibu? Oh, Malbec and Malbec.
Malbec, yeah, it's two different kinds of Malbec. One from the highlands, one from the lowlands, apparently.
And I'll get to Scotland before you.
It's from Argentina. Yeah, no, it's from Argentina. I actually don't like it that much, but I'll drink it.
You wouldn't buy it again.
What was it called again? Malbec and Malbec?
It's Gestos, Gestos.
Yeah, she has to document
50% Malbec, parens 3,600 feet, plus 50% Malbec, 2,300 feet.
What does that average out to then?
Yeah.
I wasn't actually paying attention.
Let's see, around 20.
Around
2,900 feet.
It doesn't add up to 100.
What, 50 does add up to 100?
50 plus 23 doesn't add up to 100.
No, 50 plus 50. I was also saying the foot elevation is a different.
That's where it's from.
Got it.
Like, does it average out to like inside of a mountain someplace?
That's right. That's
like
why it tastes
underground.
So
yeah. It's all stones and pebbles. What are you drinking, Garland?
What I'm drinking? I'm also drinking a wine from Trader Joe's.
What?
Espiral. It's a really nice, light, drinkable white. It's like good, handy to keep in the fridge for cooking or for just like it's pretty fresh. Very basic. Very basic.
I like the label.
Yeah, it's nice. In it is also, because I'm just that basic, is sparkling orange mineral water from Trader Joe's. Nice. And a spoonful of homemade jam.
That doesn't sound basic to me. We are both drinking the thing that came in the bottle. I am drinking it from the bottle.
Slightly different.
I know.
Different meaning of the word.
I know. I don't think it's. You're always making these elaborate concoctions.
World burns. I'm drinking a little like wine jam infusion out of a mason jar. I mean, could we get like more? You're part of the problem, Carlin. That we could not get more. You're part of the problem, Carlin. Yeah.
Check out my pumpkin spice cosmopolitan.
That would be good.
Hey, it's Jay.
It's Jay.
Woohoo!
Jay likes your bottle and glasses, Carlin.
Hi, Jay.
Oh, so these were a wedding present?
Oh.
Actually?
They're very pretty.
Really?
Yeah. we didn't really have a wedding, as you all know. But gifts showed up from friends of my mother from New York who didn't know how not to send us wedding presents. And these were part of that. We registered at Crate and Barrel. Anyway.
That was the other husband.
If there's anybody watching who doesn't actually know this, those two are married.
To each other.
To each other, yes. Yes, we should clarify.
I've been seen with a married woman. I mean, she's married to me, but.
Okay, so Todd already did his. Who wins his? Glad he gets the award.
Wait for him.
Wait for him. Or the Thanks for Existing award. That's what it's. Because it has to be as neutral as possible, because it could be any kind of entity that we're thankful for. So thanks for existing. What's your Thanks for Existing award, Barb? What's that going to this week?
So I tend to spend a fair amount of time on the YouTubes. Before I could claim that it was because I was making lots of YouTube videos. Now I'm just falling down rabbit holes. But this is by oh gosh, Kurzgesagt. Kurzgesagt. Has this video, and it's called The Egg. And I'm not going to actually, well, I'm going to play it, but I'm not going to have like audio on for it. Does this go full? I don't want to go actual full screen. Whoa, ah. Wait, go there. So the this video, like, which I'd kind of seen or heard something a little bit about, and seen like the illustrations from it, which I'm really into. Like, I like Kurzgesagt.
What does it mean? It means like a walnut shell or something like that.
Kurzgesagt.
Something like that.
Kurzgesagt. That person, this person who makes this thing right here, which I think y'all can see. Yeah, you can see. I really like the animation. A lot of the videos are really interesting. And this one, I'd seen and like heard, oh, it's really, really cool. And they've got a poster of this moment right here.
Oh,
that I thought,
nice.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, that's neat. And so I went and I'm like, okay, let's watch this video and see what the big deal is. And I watched it, and most of it is it's like, it's cool, it's interesting. And then somewhere towards the end, it like hit this point of like blow my mind. And like, whoa, oh shit, and like started like floating upside down, that whole kind of thing.
Give us a little bit, like what are we seeing? Not necessarily here, but what's the gist? What's the name of the video?
Okay, it's called The Egg. And yeah, I didn't mention that, did I? Yeah, it's called The Egg. And the beginning of it is person dies, and talks to some entity who they kind of think, okay, must be God. And then they kind of talk about the life that just experienced and what's coming next. And it is a really, really interesting take, I think, on what could be the nature of the universe. And I don't want to spoil it, but it's
lovely.
It was fast. It's one of the very few videos, because YouTube will happily lead you down that rabbit hole, and give you something else for you to click on and just like feed your brain with nothing throwing at you. But this one like actually made me stop, and I had to I didn't go anywhere else, and I just like stared at the ceiling and thought about it for a while. And I'm like, it's an interesting idea.
Cool.
It's a very interesting idea, and I like it. It made me think a bunch. So, awesome. Yeah. So that's my thing that I am thankful for. Thank you for existing. Wait, what is it?
I think it's just thanks for existing.
Thanks for existing. Okay.
Thanks for existing. My thanks for existing award is much less profound. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me know when it's pulled up, because I can't see the.
It's up.
Okay. So these are two very small apps that made my life workable this week, and I wanted to bring them up. One is called the Mqtt Explorer, and the other is called Rested, and that's the one that's up. And they're both very simple, specific tools. The Rested is to help you explore REST APIs like GET, POST for the website, the web page. So, for example, if I was running a web server on my local computer, I could test the different responses and get see how my server was running here in the tool. And then Mqtt Explorer is this. It's currently hooked up to something called broker.shifter.io, which is actually something else to be grateful for. But it's a display of what's going on the Shifter server. And so different people are sending different messages to different channels, all participating, and you can see them all happening, and you can examine things as they go and just get a sense of what's happening on the whole Shifter Mqtt public broker. But it doesn't have to be the Shifter one. You can check different ones and log in and see the data that you're doing. It's a Mqtt is a kind of like IoT protocol, small data protocol, which is very helpful. And the reason why I wanted to pick these two things are, I can pull up my I wrote down. They're small, lightweight tools that are built for people who make things. They have defined scopes. They're not trying to do too much. They work without an internet connection if you're for doing local development. So even though that Mqtt Explorer was pointed at a remote host, it could have been one on my own computer or on my own network, and the application would still have worked.
I was legitimately hoping that was wine glasses being dinged.
No.
That would be great.
Also,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The last point was that they are thoughtfully laid out, and this is my little bit of a dig coming up. Sorry. They're thoughtfully laid out. Everything is upfront and discoverable in those small little UIs. Which, is the point of having a GUI in the first place. If I wanted something impenetrable, I'd use the command line, which I can do. So they're like great, actually built for the user instead of some like weird subscription monetization model. And I thought they were fabulous, and they made my week a lot less like sandpaper. And so, because I was annoyed, then I annoyed Todd less, who annoyed someone else less. And these like little gestures that make a big difference in the world. It's like, I got to work with tools that were satisfying today. It makes me less annoying to like the people around me.
So they're passing it forward.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, those little tools, especially those particular ones, are so great because they give you like superpowers into looking underneath the covers of what the technology is doing. It's like X-ray vision for the mysterious whatever the hell network things that you're trying to figure out. There
the
you
other
go.
thing is I think the Rested was released like 6 years ago with no updates since.
Oh, really?
And it just like still works. It's not trying to do anything flashy. It's kind of like my car, which is like almost 20 years old. It just works. I don't like.
I like your car. Well, your car is my car.
Yeah. It's not moved in months.
20 years old.
Mine is at 2014.
Yours is only 2 years older. No. Oh, you mean 2006? No, 2004.
2004. Mine's a 2004.
Oh my God.
As far as we know, because
mine's only,
as Todd pointed out, it hasn't moved in a while.
Yeah. Well, mine's only 2 years older or newer than yours.
Yeah. So, and they work. Yeah.
My car is 20 years old. I bought it in March of 2020.
All right. So what did we
bought it new in March of 2020. Gotta point that out.
What did we actually work on in the past 2 weeks, if anything?
We worked on things.
We did work on things. Barb, I think you should go last because you're the only one who actually finished.
Finished. I on the post on the Crashbase blog, for those who want to see the things, because we put it up there too. I put finished in quotes.
I know, but it's still more finished than anything.
More finished than the others. Okay, I'll go last. That's fine.
All right. So
I'll also show my other thing.
Todd, rock, paper, scissors. Who do you want to go first? You saw what I was gonna do.
If he had, he would have done. Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
He was muted, so I'm gonna go.
You already did.
Sorry.
It? Oh, okay.
I always play. All right. I'll go first.
I thought you
first
both.
because mine's really simple. So, okay, on the internet, you can buy things.
What?
And this
Lies.
thing,
Lies.
this little thing, is $9, and it's meant to be an add-on to a karaoke machine that gives you echo and delay effects to your voice. And so it's sold to basically sort of plug into some kind of karaoke machine. But Waveform Magazine figured out how to turn this into a little music module for Eurorack modular synthesizers. It's almost the right size and everything. So with a few quick hacks that basically required taking off some of these and adding a little bit here and there, basically like another like $2 of parts, you're able to turn this into a Eurorack module, a little Eurorack effects module. And so that's what I did this week. Instead of working on anything like for my September project.
It's related.
It's kind of related, yeah.
It's related.
And so it's a lot of fun. And so if you go to the blog post, there's a video of this thing in action. And considering most Eurorack modules are like $100 minimum, the fact that you can get like this little $9 jobby off of eBay and, you know, solder it up a little bit and have something that's actually usable is pretty cool. And yeah, so I got a spare one just in case I like flubbed on the first one, but also I wanted to kind of do some other modifications to this one. But yeah, so that's what I did for my Deep Fried Neurons this week, which had nothing to do with my actual project or past projects or future projects or anything like that.
That's totally fine. But you did a really cool hack with the buttons. Did you explain about the hack what you did with the buttons in the Sharpie?
Oh, I did not. But yeah, so the device ships with these very ugly white buttons, which here I'll put them onto the front here. And they're pretty ugly. Let me put it against my dark shirt. With a little bit of Sharpie, both black and silver, you can make them look a lot better. And so, yeah, just a little bit of Sharpie, and the knobs become so much more attractive. So
knobs that don't work for you to knobs that do work for you.
Because everything has to be black. It's not cool if it's not black.
Or other colors. I don't know. I like other colors.
No, for audio gear, it must be black.
Notice, like, Bar has the colorful earmuffs on, Tyler dressed in black.
The backwards shirt. Black shirt.
Yes.
Like, what colors? What are those?
There are many colors of black.
Yeah. All right, so I will share the screen.
Will you now?
Uh-oh. Colin in presentation mode.
There we go.
There we go. So I only have 3 more finished apps for later show, but anyway, before we took our week off, I threw those Carmen Herrera things into a default horizontal scroll, and I thought it was hilarious how they just sort of like expanded to fit this space completely in this way that was sort of awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
I mean, sort of like super usable in some ways. In other ways, like much more like actually walking through a gallery and then like, oh, I'm like my face is up in it. But what's interesting is you can see the problem with using a gradient to try to as a way to make a sharp line a lot better. So there's that. And then there's sort of more like make it fit version where everything needs to be resized a bit, but it actually works. You can see the top of the drop shadow here.
I love drop shadows. They're the best.
So if I had stayed on this whole track, I would have fixed that all up, but I didn't. I moved on to making an Mqtt testing app, which is kind of fun. If I pull up, I think I need to go full screen again. Hold on.
Oh, I can send my MQTT messages. Ha ha ha.
You can send MQTT messages. I'm assuming this is all up.
I have a magic little Arduino here that I can push a button to send Arduino.
I can hear, and then I can send. Where's try? There's try.
Hacking Carlin's message board.
So slider 1 to send a message. Now slider 2 is going to send a message. What's the difference is that slider 1 will send its messages as fast as it poor little heart can. Slider 2 only sends when you let go. And then messages. There you go.
Yeah. This totally makes, like, having little mobile apps that can send MQTT makes MQTT a lot more interesting to me, because there's the problem of, like, you've got your little project, you want to control it with your phone or whatever, and in a way that's like continuous instead of like web whatever, because then you have to like have some web whatever hooked up to both the device and your phone app. But like MQTT is like, oh, there's already these brokers out there in the world, and you can have these standard MQTT libraries. It's like, yeah, it just seems so much more interesting to me now.
Yes, and it's interesting to me now, partially because of being forced to use it this weekend. And at the little conference we were at, they had us work in a group project using MQTT, and as part of it, I decided to make a feelings potato, which was a way to convince myself. Someone wanted to make an ecosystem where people broadcasting basically how they felt, like, are you okay? Do you understand the situation? Like, and I'm like, I don't want to tell people that. And so I made something that would like maybe convince me to express my feelings towards the network.
Talk to the feelings potato.
Anyway, so that was my way to convince myself to like, because one of the things was they used the example of like maybe you're in a class and you want to let the teacher know that you're not okay, and I'm like, I have never wanted a teacher to know that I was not okay. Like, that was not how I like participate in classes.
Please emote to the feelings potato. The feelings potato will structure your emotions into proper packets of data.
Well, I mean, just like as a woman in STEM classes, like indicating you're not okay is like never a safe space. So convincing myself to like access that part of myself while in the class was an important part. Anyway, so I made the feelings potato, and so I wanted to make a test app. One of the things I had to do in order to do that, the library I found was based on a Swift library called Swift NIO, and I had no idea how to use it. And so trying to use a library based on a technology you don't know how to use was tricky. So I followed a Ray Wenderlich tutorial and made this quote repository. And all of those you can find out, because I put it all, I decided to go ahead and put it all in a repo called September 30-ish Swift project. Almost 30 listed here. And some scratch pads that I used along the way to like learn how to do some of the previous stuff as a way to sort of make up for the loss. And this is the link to the specific Ray Wenderlich tutorial. Anyway, so that's me. That's what I
like it. I'm so into the potato.
I'm kind of into the potato too.
I wrote it down so that I can make you a feelings potato graphic.
Oh, well, thank you.
I really want to make a feelings potato graphic.
So for those of you who are aware, what the circuit board and all that was strapped to was something called a chumby, which got a lot of flack back in the day. Got a flack back in the day for looking like a potato. And so
it was a tiny Linux computer that was embedded in basically like a beanbag.
Fabulous thing. Ahead of its time, I think. Really ahead of its time.
Very much, yeah.
Bunny was on that project.
Bunny Huang.
Thank you. Anyway, so I had one, and I was like, "Oh, this thing that I drew kind of looks like a chumby. Maybe I'll use my chumby to make it real." And then once I strapped the boards on, it was clear that I made a feelings potato. So anyway, so in order to continue with Swift, I made a Swift that would eventually be able to talk to something like the feelings potato. This is a
sweet potato or just potato?
No, this is Solanaceae. This is like the real legit potato.
Depends on your mental state, I guess, right?
This is a
sour potato. Bitter potato.
Sour cream potato.
Hateful potato.
But sweet potatoes and the white potatoes, like red potatoes, are not actually in the same genus.
They're both they're tubers?
They're all tubers.
They're both tubers. Wow,
tubers,
that's interesting.
They're not even the same genus. I don't think they're even in the same family. Let me double check this.
Well, I mean, in French, potatoes are called pomme de terre, which means apple of the ground. And it's not an apple. I'm pretty sure it's pretty distinct.
So here we go. A sweet potato is from the family Dioscorea. That's a yam. And a sweet
what's the difference between a yam and a sweet potato?
In the morning glory family, which is Convolvulaceae, and the regular potato is in the nightshade family, Solanaceae.
The morning glory and the nightshade families?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we're just getting the roots here. Let me put that link in the private chat, and one of you can put it in the Twitch.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're all completely different. And so Todd has some ground to stand on when he calls sweet potatoes and yams not real potatoes.
Not real potatoes. Except for sweet potato fries.
Doesn't matter if they're not real potatoes, they're wonderful.
They are.
Sweet potato fries are all right. But everything else.
Do you not like sweet potatoes?
He just likes.
No.
I feed them to him anyway.
I think it's because the sweet potato preparations that I from.
We lost him. We lost him because he's wrong. So Todd doesn't know that he's had butternut squash soup that's actually sweet potato soup. So random orange vegetable. He's had random orange vegetable and things that he was not aware that it was sweet potato. I think his main complaint, to fill in for him, is that a lot of the sweet potatoes that he's used to are sort of like gummy, bad Thanksgiving sweet potatoes that were covered in like marshmallow, which was not his favorite.
That's not a argument against the sweet potato itself.
Well, it's hard. We do tend to blame items for the company they keep, fair or not.
Yeah, but they are not making those decisions. Sweet potatoes are not deciding to be with marshmallows.
I agree. The marshmallow, in fact, is also a plant and there
I
are
know.
pretty native mallows, and so.
Which is fascinating. I
So
think.
Todd had figured out that he is dead because of disparaging sweet potatoes. The internet is run by sweet potatoes. We have now learned.
There we go. Todd, it's not sweet potatoes' fault that they're told to hang out with marshmallows. Oh no, we don't have them.
We don't have them yet.
That's okay. Everybody gets for the sweet
He
potatoes.
recently is wide and buried. It gets a bad rap because the Europeans were only familiar with the nightshade version. But yeah. There's anyway, I can go on for hours about like the botany of all this random stuff, but
yeah, I know it's fascinating. Todd, I was saying it's not sweet potatoes' fault that they are always put together with marshmallows.
Yeah. But clearly, people who like sweet potatoes have stereotypically strange preferences. If they put marshmallows
anyway,
in a savory food,
you may or may not have heard that you have had sweet potatoes and liked them, not aware that they were sweet potatoes.
yeah, sweet potato fries at the pub. That's great.
Yeah, those are good.
Anyway.
Oh man.
Sorry, I'm trying a new streaming setup here to make it so I can actually use my computer, and I think something would happen. Something went wrong. Apologies.
Okay. So, Barb, as someone who actually finished their September project.
Okay, so my September project was, to remind folks, was mechanical words, or mechanical letters, and then I decided on I was gonna do curiosity, and it was too long, and I got as far as Curio, and I'm like, that's actually perfect. So I made a mechanical Curio. And I did it in Fusion 360 first. And then I eventually laser cut it. And there were thoughts about putting it. Come here now. Okay. There were thoughts about putting it. Yeah, I know. There were thoughts about putting motors on it. And that didn't happen. Maybe in the future. Maybe not. I don't know. It's kind of fun as it is. There were also thoughts of attaching the U and the R together so that one thing could drive the whole thing. But it's a little bit finicky, as these things are, when they're not like fully machined to like precision and like bearings and shit. Because this is not that precise. That's not my. I think it's fascinating. I think it's lovely. I think it's wonderful. People who do machining, it's not so much my thing. So here's my Curio.
Yay.
So it actually takes a couple different. Oh, come on now! Don't be like that. Yeah, it needs a little bit of work still, but okay. So
well, you've got some videos of it already, so at least.
I know that's why I was like, okay. So the C and the U, I can't see anything. Okay, here, shall I go full?
Full screen. Yeah. Make it big.
There we go. I haven't eaten food. This is why I'm a little bit singing.
Empty stomach drinking and demoing.
Empty stomach drinking, demoing, and
U's jumping out of his track.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So here's the C and the U.
Excellent.
So I've got like a scissor mechanism situation over here. I did do them in different colored acrylic so that I could have it be a little bit more a little bit more obvious visually. And I'm amazingly like it's a little bit. This is a little bit cranky. I need to get some more kind of guide pieces in here so that the U does what it's supposed to do properly, and maybe cut off one of these teeth. But I'm pretty pleased that it actually works as well as it does. Like scissor mechanisms, I do those all the damn time. Like I have at least 3 on my desk right now. made out of cardboard. I mean, like, you know, I legitimately do. I taught a class last Saturday with this kind of stuff. Whatever.
Excellent.
So that's the C and the U. Yeah, that's the C and the U, and then the Rio. Aside from being a thing in Vegas, also, oh, come on now. Wow.
It's hard to demo at odd angle.
There we go.
Oh, excellent.
So it actually, and again, I'm really pleased that this pulley belt like works, and that the crank, I keep wanting to call it a piston, but it's not a damn piston. The slider crank mechanism works. And this is all driven by the dot on the I. And then the bell crank. Yeah, so the R was supposed to connect to the U and make that do its thing, but it wasn't like doing enough. It was like just barely moving it. And I'm like, no. The glory of the C and the U must be experienced in full. So yeah, the GIF that I put that's in the blog post has like me. So you have to control it in 2 different places. Is the long and short of that. But it works.
It was work.
That's so cool.
And I'm so jazzed that it is actually a Curio and not Curiosity.
And it's beautiful.
Thank you. What I want to do also, because why not? And because I like doodling and stuff, and paint is paint like some kind of cool frame thing around it. So I may do that too. Eventually. I'll do that sooner rather than later. That's not hard to do, and it's a good fun thing to do when you're just sitting around. But yeah, it works. I had to, I mean, it didn't work the first time. I had to cut the number.
If it works the first time, you're not doing
as one would expect. I know, right? Yeah. And there's some that it's with screws, and some of it is filament pins or filament rivets, as you can find my video on, because I did that way back. So that's my Curio. Maybe I'll see it on the wall eventually. I was gonna show too. Do you want to see the other thing that I've been working on?
Do you want to wait to show it next week?
Well, it's a dragon head. I mean, I could wait and show it next week.
It's up to you. And in terms of like, does it fit with the? Are you going to use it toward? I guess we can go ahead and.
I wasn't planning on using it towards my thing, but I could.
Oh no! If we can make Barb make more, then I will have Barb make more. So go ahead and show it. Yeah, show it.
It's also in progress. It's not done, so it's not like it would be okay. I don't know how I got to it. It's a dragon head, and I have to do with the headphones off because otherwise it won't fit. Did I show this before? I don't know if I showed this before.
That's awesome. I have not seen this.
The current state of the dragon head.
Love it.
And the mouth opens, and I can like see out of here and stuff. I need to, obviously I need to do some work. Plus, I'm like paper macheing over it. Like it's just cardboard. But to smooth it out, I'm doing like kind of paper macheing over it with like packing paper. And then thank you. And then I'm gonna go over it and do like collage over it with like red magazine pages and stuff. But this was part of my yeah, I'm kind of jazzed about this. I've spent a lot of time on it.
You should. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this is actually part of a challenge on Twitter by somebody named John, and I forget his last name. But it's a Halloween for under 50 bones. So the idea is make a Halloween prop. I did costume head for less than $50, and I say I'll see your less than $50 and raise you 0. I mean, technically, I'm using just a shit ton of hot glue in this. Like, I ran out of hot glue.
Okay, well, that counts. counts.
That counts.
Yeah. That does count.
Okay. Well, whatever.
I'll let you not count your labor, which is like a dubious and very capitalist to not count labor of the worker. I'm
not making it for anybody else. I'm making it for me.
No, I know, but your labor counts, but in this context, I think you do have to count the hot glue.
I do want to like eventually get it so because the mouth opens. I want to set up a mechanism so that I can, when my mouth opens, the mouth on the dragon head opens.
I love it.
So as I talk, the dragon head is talking as well.
Yep.
That's
great.
And potentially, like, I'll take a picture of it and Photoshop in smoke. But some small part of me wants to get like a vape pen and do just like steam that comes out.
Yes.
Would be kind of fun. I don't know.
Just get a propane torch.
for my cardboard dragon head.
I don't see a problem here.
No problem.
I don't know. Line it with wool. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes, the idly smoking vape pen, just like seated somewhere like in the nose or whatever would be perfect.
The nose, the nostrils, yeah.
Which I need to create, and I think the nostrils are going to actually be something that makes it easier for me to see, because the way that it's constructed, I can't see. In order for the head to be in the right place, I can't see above anybody's like stomach.
Yeah.
So I have to figure out how to like create like ventilation. Sight lines would be good. It'd be nice to be able to see things. Yeah. So that's a thing. It's a thing. Thanks.
So part of why I asked Barb why, like, does she want to save it for next month, is because our theme for next month is Halloween. Yes. And we're leaving it very open as to what each of us are going to do for that. I don't know. Todd has indicated he doesn't have a ton of ideas yet for what he wants to do. I don't either, really, but I am probably going to divide it into 4 sub-themes. I'm probably going to do Mumming and Guising, Ghosts in the Machine, Pumpkin Spice Latte, and Hunter's Moon as my four themes as the month progresses.
Do you want to explain those, or you want to wait and explain them on the days?
I can do a word or two about them. Mumming and Guising being the sort of what we think of as trick-or-treating, the origin of what we think of as trick-or-treating. People as early as 1296 got dressed in costumes and went to their lord houses and challenged their local noble to a game of dice. And if they won, they would get bonus. So this has sort of evolved over time into what we think of as trick-or-treating. And that's all according to the Wikipedia page on Mumming and Guising. And then Ghost in the Machine is sort of self-explanatory, like spooky being in computers. I have to think about that more, what exactly that's going to mean, but I like the theme idea. And then Pumpkin Spice Latte, because how can you do anything in October without getting the Pumpkin Spice Latte theme? And Hunter's Moon. So we, Samhain, which is the Celtic tradition that a lot of the Halloween traditions are based on, is perhaps based on a celebration of the second moon after the fall equinox or something around those lines. And we happen in 2020 to have the coincidence for a long time coming of October 31st actually being a full moon, which is kind of exciting. And so I thought I would honor that by talking about the moon at the last.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So those are my themes that I'm sharing. That I'm going to be working on, deciding them now, so I can start like thinking about it. Jay is exactly right. The Harvest Moon, which was like yesterday, Mooncakes, the Mooncake Festival, and yeah, very cool. And
oh, look at that.
You totally. Oh, here he is.
There he is.
All right, I hate computers. I don't know why, but the one that I'm using for streaming just decided to stop being on the internet. Like, bye, I'm off the internet now. I won't get back on the internet, so I don't know what's going on.
All good. I was just explaining the 4 themes that I sent to you all earlier, that I'm gonna break Halloween, my Halloween month, into like 4 separate themes. Part of why I'm doing that is because I think I worked. I think I was too. I got a little too intense about this Swift like everyday thing. So I think if I have like one thing to do, I can sort of figure out by the end of the week, well, this is good enough to show, and I can maybe actually get some of the rest of my life done. But
Oh no, you've been doing a lot of cool stuff with the Swift.
No,
it's cool.
Fun. It's been a little too all-consuming in some way, but I will, I think, continue with Swift. But I'm wondering if the weekly themes are a better fit for me in Deep Fried Neurons after all. I don't know, but I like the fact that they're all tied to a similar thought, which is like Halloween and exploring the overarching stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can have, I mean, as you were doing this month, you can have a monthly project or a monthly theme, and then just have your weekly prompts or your weekly sub projects.
Yeah, I think I realized that having like getting 30 things done is a little much for a side project.
30 things is a lot. Yeah.
Y'all warned me about that.
Both of us did 30 things and didn't actually do 30 things. So
27 and some change. 23 and some change. The 26 if you count the sketch.
More than me.
I didn't quite make it, and I will not make it in October. I have shit to plant in the yard.
I can't believe you fucking cussed.
But like, I mean, there's no problem with cussing on Deep Fried Neurons, but I just swearing is I'm from. There's nothing wrong with swearing, but I just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Shit to do. My other side project is our yard. It has got to like it's October and November, man. They're planting months here. They're not.
See, that would also be a great month project too.
Yeah, I think I'll do that in November. And November is really the great month for planning. Late October, early November. I'm really late for getting some of my fall seedlings started because I was too focused on Swift. So only so many side projects at a time, Harlan.
All the side projects.
All the side projects. But you don't get anything
with a properly arranged Gantt chart, you can reschedule everything to fit into the various little.
Yeah, I have an idea, not for what exactly I'm gonna do, but I do have I know my overarching theme that I want to do for this next month. And Todd's been doing sound and music, but I want to do sound. I want to go back to my roots.
Do it.
And get into maybe some music, but definitely some soundscapes. Not only like it might be a mix of like found sounds or synthesized or Yeah, it could be all kinds of things. I mean, I was in the Maker Educator convening was today. And one of the workshops was on doing podcasting, and they showed us, this woman showed us from KQED, showed us this this website called Soundtrap that I had not used before. And it's like, this is actually pretty decent. And we lost Todd again.
Yeah.
So I think I might, yeah, that's my thought. So I might do things that are kind of Halloween-y themed or fall themed, or I don't know. We'll see.
Thanks.
Also, because he's back. He's back. There he is, shaking his damn head.
Ignore me. Ignore me. I shouldn't be allowed to have used computers.
Well, our fonts. Thank you for existing. Oh my gosh, are we gonna get a sticker?
We'll get something going.
Excellent.
That'd be awesome.
I need to put stickers up because I've got like my alignment stickers about ready.
Awesome.
Or the designs for them. I gotta put them up. I can do this too. Yeah, that would be good as like just a general sticker.
It could look like a badge, like a prize winner.
Yeah. I mean, if I was doing that, I'd do it a little bit better. This is like sketch style of Deep Fried Neurons that y'all are like just so jazzed about, and won't let me redesign it.
Yeah, I love it. I love it just the way it is.
I know, it's good.
Nice.
It works.
Poor time.
I know. He's got to work on his
Right. So
computers.
looking forward to being spooky with you all for the next 4 weeks.
Spooky.
I think when I brought up the theme first, I brought it up to Todd first, and I was a little concerned because one of the rich cultural roots of this holiday is the Celtic idea that it's the time of Samhain is a liminal, and the boundaries between the land of the living and the land of the dead are very, very thin. And in a year where we have millions of new dead in the world that we weren't necessarily otherwise going to have, it's a very, and how that relates to harvest and renewal. I mean, it's actually a very powerful holiday. And so, yeah, it could be, I mean, it can be fun and it can be intense, and it's sort of a tricky thing to think about in 2020 on a year where the full moon does in fact happen on
actually Halloween.
On actually Halloween. So the midpoint between the equinox and the solstice is actually November 6th, I think, apparently this year, but the 100th moon is actually on Halloween this year. So depending on what you think the Celtic tradition originally was, because they don't really know, it does or does not. Like, if you think it was a lunar tradition, then it's a big deal this year. If you think it was a solar tradition, then it's like, yeah, it's not even the right day. But that idea of hiding from the past, in terms of wearing disguises to hide from your ancestors, or like the people who came before, and what it means to relate to the dead. Like, how do we relate to our dead? It's actually a pretty intense thing, and coping with that through October as we approach the election might be a lot. So I don't know if my project will hew to the lighter side or the dark side. We will find out.
Yeah, I just had a rather interesting October surprise.
Yeah, I have actually pretty complicated feelings about it. I mean, I know the joke that we led with was pretty funny. I don't know that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't know. Chaos is a ladder in the mouth of little finger. And you don't know who's going to climb up. And it can be complicated. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, none of that's going to be as simple. It makes sense that it's not you don't have simple feelings about that. I don't have simple feelings about it either.
The good news is that some people, I saw someone saying that they didn't have to remind anyone to wear masks today. Some of the people who are anti-maskers may take this as a wake-up call, in which case lives will be saved.
That's the most frustrating thing. If we just had like some consistent messaging from the highest up, from the start, just like wear a mask, whatever you do. If you're outside, wear a mask. You know, it's like just something that simple could have like helped so many people.
Could have.
But instead, we did not take that.
But we didn't because he thought brown and black people were dying, and that was okay with him.
Yeah.
And I bring that. I say that specifically because we don't talk a lot enough. We haven't learned how to process yet that our shiny United States, land of the free, has a very dark red through it. And so Halloween, this time where darkness and light are commingling in this very rich way, and building on the thing from How to Citizen last week, where grieving is part of this social justice work. Sort of like, how do we process darkness and lightness together? It's really powerful, and this is that time of year. This is that holiday. Spring holidays being another different version of it. But so anyway, kind of why I wanted to do Halloween. And so yeah, it can be like fun, and it can be ooh. And I don't know which direction I am going to be up for going.
We will find out. I will find out what I'm doing. Todd will figure out what he's doing. It'll be interesting.
I think I'm going to do something with tiny little microcontrollers.
Embedded into your skull.
I mean, when they say embedded computing,
I want, like, my mom has a hearing aid, and she has a snap installed in her head.
That's want a awesome.
Freaking, I know, right?
Yeah.
I want a snap in my head. I don't want to like lose my hearing, but I want a snap in my head.
I mean, it's good having hard points, as they say.
I want to be able to like upgrade my little microchip for my head and just
see,
just put in a new shield onto my brain every day.
Yeah.
I'm on board. Plug me in.
Carlin
is laughing.
Yeah, she'll be laughing when I come home with my cool new Arduino add-on. It's like
no. Remember, when my migraines were bad, I was like, "Can I do terraformation?" And you were like, no,
terraformation, yeah.
Terraformation. Like, can I do it? Can I just do it? It would fix my migraines. It would do it. Where's the drill?
I think terraformation is when you add a turtle to your body somehow.
There you go. Anyway. On that note, happy Halloween.
On that note, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Happy Halloween a month early. Happy September being over. We'll see you next week. Cheers.
See you next